This is Leadership, Steve Jobs, presentation by William Zane Bennett. Birth and early age. Born February 24th, 1955 in San Francisco, California. His given name is Stephen Paul Steve Jobs. Jobs' parents put him up for adoption at birth. Adopted by Clara and Paul Jobs. Grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. The beginning. Went to Reed College for a short period of time before dropping out. Jobs was very smart but found formal school boring and lacked direction in what he wanted to learn. After dropping out of college, he would drop in on creative classes at Reed College. Jobs found his love for typography by dropping in on calligraphy classes. Early career. In the early 1970s, Jobs took a job as a video game designer at Atari. His stay at Atari only lasted a few months. He decided to take a journey in search of spiritual enlightenment in India. Jobs also mentioned that he experimented with psychedelic drugs during this time. Jobs and Wozniak. These two were introduced during the time they spent together at Homestead High School. They started Apple Computer in 1976 in Jobs' family garage. To fund the venture, Jobs sold Volkswagen buses and Wozniak sold the scientific calculators. Apple Computer 1. Jobs and Wozniak were credited with revolutionizing the computer industry. Democratizing the technology made the machine smaller, cheaper, intuitive, and accessible. In doing this, the computer made more convenient for the everyday consumer. Got a picture here of the first Apple computer. The first Apple computers were initially marketed at $666.66 each. This is the Apple II. That's a picture of the original Apple II computer. The Apple II was one of the first mass-produced in-home computer. Although Steve Wozniak was the primary creator, Jobs oversaw how the computer would be cased and what it looked like. Millionaire. The Apple II made Jobs a millionaire by the age of 23. By 1981, Apple was one of the top 3 computer producers in the United States. This was the first actual home computer people wanted. When IBM entered the playing field, Apple's profits almost doubled in $4 billion in 1983. Pixar. In 1986, Steve Jobs acquired Lucasfilms. He then renamed it Pixar Animation Studios. Jobs became not only the chief executive of Apple, but also Pixar Animation Studios. First feature film was Toy Story. Walt Disney. Disney acquired Pixar for nearly $7.4 billion in stock. This made Jobs the largest single shareholder of the Walt Disney Company. Pixar would be known for movies like The Incredibles, WALL-E, and Finding Nemo. Revitalizing Apple. Jobs left Pixar to try and revamp Apple in 1997. His experience with Pixar helped Jobs learn to be collaborative with others. The knowledge and relationships he gained during his time at Pixar would help him create some of what now are household items. Apple shares grew from $5 billion in 2000 to nearly $351 billion today. In 1998, Jobs introduced the Mac OS operating system. This operating system was shut down to the large amount of money that was lost trying to set the system up and get it running. Mac OS X would eventually take over and be more user-friendly to help boost sales. The iPod. Launched in 2001, Jobs was trying to get people to change the way they saw PCs. Prior to the iPod, very few people listened to music on a digital device. By 2012, more than 350 million people listened to music using a digital device. Leader and entrepreneur. Jobs was known as an unconventional leader. He demanded excellence from his staff. These factors brought together with his vision helped him become a great leader and entrepreneur. battle with cancer. In 2004, Steve Jobs was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, although not many people knew. Lost his battle with cancer at age 56. Left behind his vision with Apple and all he helped create. Net worth and charities: 8.3 billion in net worth and world's 110th richest person. Steve Jobs was not known for being very charitable, although he did leave behind many innovations that help everyday life easier in some form or fashion. Here's my works cited page where I got a lot of my information from. You can check them out and read a little bit more on Steve Jobs if you wish. Thanks.